Celtics series, the Sixers can win without Joel Embiid being at his best. They've shown their ability to do it. The Nuggets can win without Jokic being at their best. They can do it. I don't think the Lakers can win without, at least multiple games in high-value settings without AD being his best. And I think they would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I would probably push back a little bit on that, Wendy. I don't think Golden State can win without Steph kind of being the next level. He to me, is the best offensive player there is in the playoffs right now. I think that's by a pretty wide margin. I will say this, though. AD has been the best player defensively in the entire playoffs. So his ability to block shots, to alter shots at the...
If he does go into concussion protocol, and, the signs last night were positive for the Lakers, but with concussions, you just have to wait for the next day. It doesn't matter who you are, you just have to wait. If he goes into concussion protocol or he can't play in Game 6, I believe that the Lakers could win a home game. They do have depth. They do have different players they can go to. I wouldn't love their chances, but I would not tell you they couldn't do it. But if they're going to win one of the next two games, it's going to have to be with AD at some point. And it's going to have to be with AD in the next round too. LeBron James is a difference-making player, but in the modern NBA and the way these teams are playing and the way the Lakers have constructed this roster, AD is the centerpiece. Everybody there would agree with it, which is why when he doesn't play well, they typically lose. And so he is...
Never played the game.
Go ahead.
To have a monster performance. Now, I know he needs to conserve his energy.
Yeah.
I get all that, but they've conserved it for this particular moment. Now, I'm not saying it will be easy, but LeBron James does have those type of games. He settled a lot last night. I think the big thing for LeBron and Darvin Ham is to remember that they are a team built inside out. Last night, they played outside in. Started off the game with a couple of jump shots. I think if LeBron James starts to punish the way he did in Game 4, Steph and Clay target those guys on matchups on the block and work inside out, LeBron James still could have a monster game that could still be any other player. And also, props to AD, and that, not Game 5, Game 4, his ability to guard. Like, there are probably only two players in the NBA that could guard Steph off the dribble for not one possession, but two possessions back to back, in which he was able to move his feet for a guy 7 feet tall, Giannis and Anthony Davis. So that just proved how spectacular he is defensively. But also, I would agree with you, Wendy, the fact that he has to be great offensively as well. But I will say this. I know it's a lot to ask of LeBron James, Stephen A., at 38 years old, but I watched LeBron James have 40 multiple times this season. I do not put it past the greatest player who's subpar performance if he's allowed to play.
Interesting that you say that, because to answer the question specifically, is AD the player who will most determine this series? I was going to say no, it's LeBron James, because of the reasons you just articulated. I believe LeBron James to be the second greatest player in the history of basketball. I know that I asked the question that Wendy wanted me to go and get psychiatric evaluation because I talked about if Steph Curry were to beat him, obviously, but I'm talking resume. There are plenty of players who are not on the Mount Rushmore that were considered better than those of us who say they are. When we think about Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and others, there are plenty of players that we looked at and say they belong in that list. This is not about better than LeBron James, but a resume would ultimately warrant that kind of conversation. That's all I was trying to say. Having said all of that, the greatness of LeBron James cannot be denied, but it also will be required in order to close out this series. I think LeBron James has to be aggressive. I think he has to come out there looking for his shot and to take over, not just in points, but in terms of running the show. He's got to really be that catalyst and be flagrant with it. He's got to put Golden State on their heels by saying, I'm coming. They got to go like this. In the first few minutes, oh, damn, LeBron James. That the Warriors will beat the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 6. I think they can pull it off. I'm not betting my money on it because I understand the Lakers got a distinct advantage, but I think they can do it. And I'm hoping for it. And it has nothing to do with my prediction that the Warriors will win in 7. Here's why I'm hoping for it, Wendy and Jay. In 2016, what did LeBron do?
Came back 3-1.
He overcame a 3-1 deficit. Now, the stimulus package that the NBA gave him, suspending Draymond Green, and then Iguodala and Bogut get hurt in that Game 5, that stimulus package that Adam Silver and them gave him, that aside, they still came back from a 3-1 deficit. Can Golden State Warriors have a shot to win this game? There's two streaks at stake. Number one, LeBron James is 31-0 whenever he's up 2-0 in a series. 31-0. He's never lost a series. If he's up 2 games, I'm sorry. If he's up 2 games in the series, 31-0. But Steve Kerr is 19-0 in the Western Conference playoffs. When his team is in the playoffs, they haven't lost the series with Steve Kerr as their coach. So those are the 2 streaks in jeopardy now. And Steph Curry, just looking at his numbers right now, Steph Curry has shot 6 of 25. That's 24% from 3-point range in the last 2 games. It's Curry's worst ever 2-game stretch in 3-point shooting in a single postseason in his career. He's got to get it going. We understand that. But it comes down to LeBron. This 3-3. Everybody going to bring up how LeBron did it to him. And now Steph Curry got an opportunity to do it back to LeBron James. That's going to be the story going into this weekend. If the Golden State Warriors beat the Los Angeles Lakers Friday night. And boy, don't you think for one second that LeBron ain't going to feel that. And I think it will cause LeBron James to rise and Steph Curry will rise. And we will have one of the most epic Game 7s we've ever seen if that scenario plays out. That's what I believe. Right? Yeah, you hear what I?
Okay. Yeah, you're right there. Your giant thing is going to be hanging in the air. It's going to be like an anvil. I would just say that this Laker team and where they've gotten to has not been constructed around LeBron being a dominant offensive force. He's obviously can still do it. And I think if you're looking for a way he would be able to lift his game, it would be to hit 3-pointers. You know, he was just so cold shooting the 3 for the first 6-7 games of the postseason. He's been a little bit better the last few games, and that's where LeBron has some iconic games in his career where he gets red hot from the outside. But this team is not, having LeBron to have Russell have a huge game. They're undefeated. I think they're 6-0 in the postseason when Russell scores 17 points or more.
That's right.
And, one of the reasons why Steve Kerr went to Gary Payton was to deal with Russell. So, Stephen A., you are right. And I can see LeBron saying to himself, I am not letting D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reeves define this legacy moment, 3-1. But I also think that this is not 2018 LeBron that can just grab the game and say, I'm going to score 45. So I think it's going to be fascinating to watch how.
And on another note, hey, Wendy, what's going on with you, man? You look good, man. I mean, the hair looks slicked back a little. I mean, Wendy, you're looking happy. Looks good. I mean, what's going on with you, Wendy? I mean, what's up, man? I mean, the hair is looking pristine and stuff like that. I see you, man. I see you. I got to give it to you.
Let's see where we are in a month at the end of the final, Stephen A. We'll do a before and after.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, I'm curious, Jay, why you're here. Who would you like to see win this? Like, what
in the entire NBA playoffs right now? I mean, I am covering